1. What is going on, fans and coaches of the ASL? My name is Hutcho322, and we also have
Hola, me llamo Malone. Just
Malone is
improving my
still
Spanish.
he's still grinding on that Spanish. So
hmm
we have the Week 7 power rankings, and last week we did not have the power rankings up. Schedules were conflicting, and we just really couldn't get it up, which is probably why we're going to need more help in the off season, but that's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother video. But anyways, we're just not going to have anything up. Disregard that text. It's going to pop up, and I'm sorry, I can't really do anything about that. But anyways, we're going to hop right into the start to this. So, Malone, would you like to go ahead and introduce the 14th pick that we both agree on?
Okay, so coming in at number 14, we have a new 14th pick for the first time in this entire season, the Kanto Embers. So I'm just gonna talk about them because why not? They played the Amsterdam Mallika this week, who is a climbing team. Struggled early on, but it was I wouldn't. Well, I thought it was a super close, but it was a 3-0. I think it was pretty even throughout the match, but like Rocker just wasn't able to like get his win cons in and just do what he needed to do. And Milan was able to pick up a win, but Rocker's at an all-time low as I think of the song. He's losing 5 games in a row.
4. Got
Yeah,
that
4 games
miscount
in a row.
though.
I'm good at miscounting. But yeah, it's been a struggle since he's taken over the team. And yeah, I just at this point it's gonna be really, really, really hard for him to come back. Cause like he doesn't have the easiest schedule for the next couple weeks. Cause they're
Yeah.
all pretty high playoff contenders as far as I can see. And
Yeah.
he's just not been able to play well so far.
Yeah. And if you guys hadn't noticed, we had Gustavo at number 14 for the past 6 weeks in a row, and we moved him up because he won, and Rocker lost, and yeah, what's more to say? I mean, Rocker's on a 4-game losing streak. He's got to snap that. I'm sure he will. He's gonna find a opponent where he can snap that against. It's just his team is actually really powerful. With Garchomp, Entei, Tapu Koko, Vaporeon, Pharaoh, all of that, Mega Arrow, and he has a very powerful squad, and he hasn't really been able to bring it all together. Uh, I, of course, he had to take over Shadow's team, which is very hard to step in as
Well,
an
he was a
assistant coach.
co-coach, but still, yeah.
Yeah, but still, he didn't really have a part in team building or match playing the matches. Actually, I think he had a part in team building, but he didn't get to play the matches. For the first time playing the matches, I can understand why he's been taking losses. But to be honest, 4 losses in a row, that's you can't really do that and expect to be higher, to be honest, when Gustavo did pick up a win last week. But yeah, that's my reasoning for that. And now moving on to the number 13 spot, being the Las Vegas Gardevoir, coached by Gustavo. And Gustavo. Oh, I got a lot of things to say. Gustavo, I will give it to you. You have had good prep. Your execution in the battle has not been good that season. Like, Thunderous is ridiculously low on the MVP board. Terrakion was ridiculously low. It was 1 and 6, but you got 4 kills with it. Uh, you had a path to victory mid game. You never lost track of that. Terrakion with EQ and CC, you knew how to get the victory, and you definitely pulled it off, of course, since you got the win. So you definitely never lost track of your victory, and you definitely played a very well game against Lari, which beat Vish at his best. So that was a very good win. That's why we had to move you up, Gustavo. Can't keep you at 14 the whole year. All right, Malone, go ahead.
Yeah, I definitely agree with what you said. I think that he hasn't played like too terribly, but his prep just wasn't top notch. And he's finally been able to have good prep and good battle. And yeah, I'm just glad to see him get a win. I think he's been struggling all season, but he hasn't been doing too terribly. His differential is better than Rocker's, and he does have a worse record. But I think that although I doubt he'll make playoffs because he still has some tough teams to play.
By the way, he's technically not out, if anyone was wondering.
Yeah. But I do think and hope he will pick up some more wins this season.
Yeah.
Not against me.
So moving on to number 12 is the Las Vegas Ludicolo, coached by the Spam, which we thought was on a tear actually as of late, but if I go ahead and check how he did this week,
shut down.
He lost 3-0 to the Arcane Arcaniners. Altaria's a good team, of course. He's a good player, and he's been on the rise lately. He's 4-3, and is in a playoff spot as of right now. But to be honest, Spam didn't really get any offensive prowess going, and his team building was kind of lackluster. He didn't really have a whole lot for Ferroseed that I remember, and Altaria knew that he didn't have a lot, because once Rotom he goes down, there is nothing that stops Pharaoh, as Altaria played it perfectly. So a little bit of hiccup in the team building, plus 3-4. It's not a horrible record, but it's definitely not in the top. So, yeah. What are you doing?
Yeah, so I definitely agree. He's kind of just shut down. He's been playing pretty well this week. I mean, like the past couple weeks. He just, wasn't really able to get in much offense. But you said most of what I was going to say. But I'm pretty scared because I have to play him this week.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, so he's just going to need to really pick it up if he wants to win. He's just kind of been inconsistent, and he needs to stay more consistent.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of a bad explanation.
So, moving on to Malone and the St. Louis Swablues. Go ahead and talk about yourself. No one knows you better than yourself. Go ahead.
Well, I know that I suck, and is not doing well. I just played and prep like crap. I don't know. I definitely know that I need to spend more time focusing on prep, as I kind of did. But, like, it's kind of hard prepping more against probably the hardest team I faced all season, which is Anderson. And, I just kind of got blown back. But I do, hoping to prep more and run the teams over people's and play better. But that's all I have to say, is that I want to make the playoffs. And I'm going to beat you, Spam.
So, yeah, definitely truth to what you're saying. Like I said with Rocker, he's on a 4-game losing streak. Not good. You're not much better. You're on a 3-game losing streak. Your team is very, very strong, but you made a lot of questionable plays against Anderson, which I said in the weekly recap. I don't know, like your team, you don't use it as offensively as you probably should, like Megalopony, in Chandelure, in Feraligatr, and even Hitmonlee, but those are big offensive threats, and you really haven't used them to their potential this season, other than like Feraligatr, which didn't even come this week since Mega Venusaur walls it from here to Timbuktu. But anyways, you're on a 3-game losing streak. Your team is insanely good, but 3-4 is not a bad record, but it definitely could be better. So, moving on to the 10 through 7 column, which we agree on as well. And I just want to point this out. It really doesn't matter for the video because you're literally just looking at a picture the entire time. But I'm chilling at 30 FPS and my CPU isn't overloading, so happy about that. But anyways, we have the Amsterdam Mallika Zams at number 10. And I put them there at number 10 because who did they lose to? Oh no, they beat Rocker. They beat Rocker. They got a win this week, but I don't think I could really put them higher. And I'm gonna foreshadow a little bit why I put myself ahead of them is because yes, I believe Milan had like one differential point higher than me or something ridiculously close like that. It was really close, but what I boiled it down to, we had the same record and whatnot, but I beat Static. He beat Rocker. Those are two completely different people, and Static has been doing better this season. So that is my reasoning for putting him ahead. But Milan has definitely been climbing. He's kind of hit a plateau and is climbing up the mountain, but I think his team is very scary.
Yeah.
Very scary. I don't think he's even used Munium Z yet, because I don't even think we banned it. I don't think we did. Maybe we did. I don't know. I don't remember. He hasn't used it. That's why I don't remember. But anyways, his team's scary. Yada yada yada.
Yep. Definitely agree. He is just kind of like been tearing lately. Kind of. I don't know. I'm just lost. But he did beat Rocker, and that's basically. I have the same reasons for you about like placement for you and him.
Mm-hmm.
And it just seems like his victories were not necessarily. Actually, I take that back. Did beat me or Mantine. But besides that, like, I just feel like he needs to beat top tier teams. Like, he did beat the number one team, but I personally don't think there is a defined number one team right now.
Yeah, if you want to call defined standings, then yes, the TG's the number one team, but
like
that's like minuscule. It's like very close compared to Vish and Anderson, but
yeah.
Moving on to the number 9, I put myself at a 4-0 victory over Static, and Static was, I believe, in a playoff spot, so I was pretty happy after that game, and I'm on a 1-game losing or winning streak. I believe, yeah,
you are.
Yeah, I'm on a 1-game winning streak, so I definitely think I can go on more of a winning streak. Plus, now I'm finally like getting a feel for my team and playing it right. Like, I brought a lot of different things that I haven't brought before, like Zubstrika and Togetic. Like, I know how to use them. I've used them in leagues before, but it was just interesting to use, and I think I used them decently well, and I had a 4-0 win over Static. Plus, I think I had decent prep. So, Go ahead, Malone.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Like, use that Zubstriker really well, and I know you can use Togetic, but you are pretty versatile in the fact that you are able to like adapt to all mons and use most mons well, unlike me. But that's not what we're focusing on. But yeah, you were able to pick up a win, and that's just big. You played well, prep well, and now you've got some relatively easy standings wise opponents for the next couple weeks, like Rocker and Milan. I think that Milan will still be tough, but
yeah,
especially if he loses next week, then it'll be pretty tough for him to like regain strength. But yeah, like you just kind of been able to use your full team well, and you have Queen and Victini up there.
Yeah.
For the MVP, so.
Yeah, and another reason why I think I'm out of a playoff spot, I have not used Mega Sableye well all season. So just wanted to add that. But anyways, Malone, I'm gonna give you the double header and go ahead and talk about Static in the Intermelodic.
So Static, he's also been kind of inconsistent this season. That isn't necessarily a bad thing, but he's just kind of been on and off winning. He's beat some good teams, beat some bad teams, lost to good teams, lost to not necessarily as good teams. This week he lost to you. He's a tough opponent, and he kind of deserved it. He just didn't play that well. You kind of dominated most of the match with your Mon.
Rode him. He had no switch-ins for the most part.
Yeah.
Besides AV hit on top.
Yeah, but you just kind of were able to pick up a win. And I feel like he's gonna need to, like, I feel like I'm saying this a lot, but he's gonna need to be more consistent. Even though most of the bottom half of the standings is inconsistent, he's in the top half of the standings, and he probably needs to do better, consistency-wise. But I feel like he's played good this season, and if he's able to keep it up, he definitely has a shot. At this point, 8-6 is a pretty close record to getting in the playoffs.
That's pretty solid.
I mean, it's just gonna depend on how other results.
By the way, 8-6 is not a valid record. It'd be 8-5 because there's only 13 weeks. But 8-5 looks solid. I think even 7-6 has a shot. So, but we'll see. Okay, my reasoning for putting Static at number 8. He's beat some very top tier teams, and like you said, he's been a little bit inconsistent. Now, I don't think he had a very good matchup against me since he had no swap-ins for Rotom Wash for the most part. He didn't have the greatest swap-ins to Nidoqueen, which forced him to bring AV Hitmontop, which was actually really annoying to deal with, so good bring on Static's part. But, I don't know. I put him ahead of me just because he still has a better record than me. And honestly, his team is very, very, very scary. And he had amazing prep. People don't commend him enough. Static has some of the most versatile prep I've ever seen. Who would see Tailwind, Scizor, and then Belly Drum, Alolan Marowak coming? Not me, I'll tell you that much. I did not see it coming until I saw Tailwind. That I say in my head, what does he get? Swords Dance, Hone Claws, Belly Drum. I didn't see Tailwind coming. I thought it was going to be Banded Scizor set. So very, very good prepper. He won most out-of-the-box coach, or was it T-Flight, though, on it?
I don't know, but definitely both are very out-of-the-box.
He's such a versatile prepper, and, like, the average player would not think to bring Moonblast on Mega Altaria. They'd be like, oh, Hyper Voice. But Static probably had a calc in there where if he gets a special attack drop, that means he can stall out a certain Pokemon. I'm sure he had a calc in there somewhere. He's a very good prepper. And while he's not in a playoff spot, because he's 4-3 right now, or 3, I don't know, something along those lines, I definitely think he can bounce back. Because unpredictable prep is one of the most craziest things to deal with in Draft League format. Because if you don't see it coming and it works, it's basically GG most of the time. So, yeah. Anyways, moving on to the number 7 spot has been probably the new Vish on the uprise. And the Phoenix Flygons, coached by Keister, they've been on an actual tear as of late. They beat Vish 5-0. They're on a 3-game winning streak. I'm pretty sure they beat you. Who else did they beat? They beat someone else fairly high, I think.
Someone good, because they're good.
Yeah.
Oh, look.
Reasoning.
They beat... Nope, that's it.
Oh, okay. But, anyways, he's been on a tear lately. He 5-0'd Vish. I'm pretty sure he 3-0'd you. Two very formidable opponents, and he's just beat him down. And again, another good prep. Power up punch Seismitoad. Did you see that coming?
Yeah, I totally saw it coming because I only got killed like 3 times by it. But
Oh
that's
well,
fine.
Keister, I guess your prep sucks. No, I'm just kidding. Well, not see that coming. But anyways, another very good prepper, and creative prep is probably my favorite thing to see in draft league format, to be honest, because it's so
Definition of keister, dude.
yeah,
Definition.
it's so cool to see. It's so amazing to see like random prep. Like seeing Belly Drum Snorlax with like Trick Room up, like past Trick Room, dude. That's I want to see that set. Okay, so sorry about that interruption. People just got back. They didn't close my door, so hold up. Go ahead and talk about the Phoenix Flagons.
Okay, so the Phoenix Flagons are insane. They have the best prep, and I've probably said that for the last 2 weeks, if not 3. Like, I really thought it the entire season they've had the best prep. Power Punt, Seismitoad. They just prepped insanely well against Fish and dominated, which is
Yeah,
amazing.
Draco turn
And
one.
they're just coming on the uprise, and like they have the potential to make an uproar risingness, because that's a word. They just have potential to do well, and I think that they have a very high chance to go from number 8 to something like number 4, because they have they're only one differential point, or like not differential point, but they're only like one win difference away from being close.
Mhm.
Actually, if they win and Altaria loses, they would be 4th probably,
All right.
or could be 4th. But yeah, they're just really
Moving
good.
on to 633, and I kind of want to run this along quickly because I have dinner downstairs. But anyways, at number 6 we have the Nederlandians, and we put them in top 2 last week, I think. But we moved
I
them,
did. You put him in 3rd, but
yeah,
that's yeah.
we moved them down drastically since they lost to Gustavo. Gustavo has a wild team, but he was 0-6 before the match. Laurie still took down top tier opponents and is still in a playoff spot. But honestly, you can't get into playoffs by losing to lower teams. I mean, you can. It just doesn't look as good on your resume, so to speak. But yeah, that's why I had to put it a little bit lower. Uh, there was a little bit of hacks in that match, but overall, I don't really think it mattered since I don't think Sludge Bomb killed anyways. But yeah,
Yeah,
go ahead, Molo.
that matter. But I definitely agree. Like that, Gustavo played well. It was a little bit disappointing, as I was hoping Newlandians would do well. I mean, they still have a good shot to playoffs. Don't get me wrong, but I just think that was definitely a hard hit into the gut, and they're definitely gonna need to recover after something like that. But we're gonna keep this quick and move on to
Yeah,
number 5, which is the Hampshire Hoopas.
yeah, coached by Bionic Puppy. So if you want to go ahead and go with that, go ahead, Malone. Talk about Hampshire
Alright,
Hoopers.
yeah, so I feel like he's personally gotten used to his team. I mean, I don't think you can get as used to it as the original owner, but he's gotten pretty darn used to it, and he's a good battler. Um, he did lose though this week to meet your Mantine, but that's just tough. Like, you're coming into a team that had just lost his first game. You've been playing inconsistent, and you're just lost to the number 1 team right now. At least that's what the standings say. And they're just gonna need to. I mean, I think if they keep it up, they'll stay in the playoffs. But they're definitely gonna need to have everything set in stone by the playoffs.
Yeah, he's definitely been getting a little bit more used to his team, but yeah, like you said, he can't get as used to it as Anaria was. But the team is definitely good, which does help with the fact that it's a new team. So that's at least a little bit of a helping there. But I definitely like his prep. It's solid sets, but didn't really do anything towards TG. Like there wasn't really anything that was too threatening. Like the only thing that got a kill was Jirachi, and then it dies to its own life orb. You can't get 5-0'd and stay in top 3. I moved them up, which is actually kind of crazy because they got 5-0'd. But I feel like they've gotten more used to their team, which is basically the reasoning for that. But anywho, at the number 4 spot, we have the Arcanines, coached by Altaria Motives. And to be honest, like Keister, they've been on a tear. Slowly but surely, they have been on a tear lately. They've been picking up a lot of wins. They were 0-2 to start the season. Now they're 4-3. That's going 4-1 over their past 5 games. So that's pretty good. That's a lot to ask. And their only loss has been to Anderson over the past 5 games, which Anderson is a very, very good battler. As he's not even in this, which means he's top 2. So
Yeah.
yeah, he's been really filling out his team lately, and he's gonna make a playoff run. He was like 1 game shy of it last year. Cause I 6-0 him, slow bro. But yeah, he was 1 game off. But last year, playoffs last year. I think he's gonna make a playoff run this year. All right, go ahead and talk about him.
Yeah. I think that was a really good match this week against the Spam. The Spam is slowly kind of rising up, and he was kind of just shutting him down. Kind of bringing back more inconsistency to Spam, but that's not what we're focusing on. We're focusing on Altaria, and they've just kind of been on a tear, as you said. They've won their past 2, I guess, but they're
4 of their past 5.
Yeah, I mean, their 1 loss to 1-0 to probably one of the best, if not the best, like, battler.
Yeah, and that was a hype game. That game was awesome.
It was probably the most intense game this season. And come to think of it, their other 2 losses were against the Meteor Mantine, who is obviously very, very high, and the Newlandians, who are also a good team. And they've definitely just been able to recover after all these losses, which I think is a key trait, you could say, that a person can have for this kind of format. And they've got to, I think that if they're able to win their next match or 2, then they'll probably secure playoffs. I know it's kind of early, but I feel like Altaria has a motive to motivated to get to the top after last.
Rolling with these puns, uproar rising, and now the motivation. Dang, Malone, you're on a roll. But moving on to number 3 is the Winters Weavile, coached by Vish, and surprisingly, he's actually reached the yellow. I don't think he's been in yellow all friggin' season. He's just been in green, but because he's on a 2-game losing streak, lost to Keister, which is very, very good, as we said, very good prepper, and has been on a tear lately, and lost to Larry. But he's on a 2-game losing streak, and I honestly see a downfall unless he gets a win and regains some balance. I think he's gonna continuously roll down this cliff until he finds his way out of the playoff spots, unless he finds a win. His team's actually wild, and anyone with Tapu Lele ever should make playoffs. But yeah, he's got to find his footing.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's done pretty well this season, and his last match was just kind of unfortunate, and this losing streak will just do nothing but bring him down. Come to think of it, he hasn't played the other top tier teams like Meteor Mantine and the Elm Street Parasects, which will definitely be good matches, but he's really gonna need to win those if he wants to make playoffs. But at the same time, a 4-loss, 5-loss team still has an okay chance of making the playoffs.
Yeah.
Well, actually, pretty good chance. But yeah, just a good battler.
Yeah. All right. So moving on to the top 2. This is the only time we have conflicted in this power rankings for this week. I have the Elm Street Parasects. Malone has the Meteor Mantine. And I think we're just going to go ahead and talk about both of them at once, why we did one over the other. So, Malone, if you want to go ahead and start, why you put Mantine below the Elm Street Parasects.
Okay. So, both teams have a pair of losses.
Mm-hmm.
Meteor Mantine's losses were to
Static and Mylan.
Static and Milan. That is correct. The Parasec's losses were to Spam
and
and
Anaria
to
/ BP.
Naria. And that was when Naria was at its peak and finest.
Yes.
And I think that Anderson's probably the best battler in the league, and that he's actually been, in my opinion, the most consistent.
Yeah, he's a very consistent battler.
And like, don't get me wrong, TG1's an insane battler. Like, he's one of the best battlers and preppers in this league as well. But I feel like Anderson just has a, higher chance of doing well according to his consistency. I know, like, I'm not the best at explaining things because that's just me, but I just want to see that happen. Anderson is one of the very few people, Wink, that I have never beaten. So.
Yeah. So, I'm going to go ahead and talk about my 2-1. So, I put the Meteor Mantine over Elm Street Parasec's because the Meteor Mantine have had more commanding wins. That's the only reason. Anderson is, in my opinion, the most consistent battler. He never jumps ship on his strategy. He always has one strategy, and he will go by that strategy. Like, he won't jump. He always plays bulky offense, which is basically the best thing. But he likes stall, bulk. And he always stays true to that method. Now, again, Meteor Mantine has more commanding wins, higher differentials in the wins. That's why I have to put Meteor Mantine higher, because differentials matter. And Meteor Mantine TG has a higher differential than Anderson, which could come to play due to seeding in the end, because if they just, let's say they both go 11-2, hypothetically. If TG's had more commanding wins, actually it wouldn't be possible because Anderson would have to play him. Anyways, if they're the same record and TG has had more commanding wins, who's getting that number 1 seed? It's TG. It's not Anderson. Now, Anderson has a very consistent strategy, and his strategy isn't commanding wins. That's not what stall is. Stall is like comfortable around the 3-0, 2-0, even 4-0 era, where that's going to get him solid differentials each time. But when he loses, stall teams usually lose by a lot more, which is the risk about stall. But if you're just crazy offense, it's so hard to swap in, and Mons just drop like flies. That's why I think TG's overall going to have the best momentum, because he's going to have more commanding wins than Anderson. But Anderson, he's going to make playoffs. I pretty much guarantee he's going to make playoffs.
Yeah,
They're
that's
both
the thing
phenomenal
about
battlers.
comparing two coaches when you're like debating seats, that you kind of have to diss the other.
Yeah.
It sucks.
But
They're
anyways,
both really good and deserve to be where they are.
I think that is going to go wrap up our power rankings, and I'm just going to fly through these picks. And if you guys did enjoy, please leave a like down below, subscribe so you know when we will be uploading our videos. And sorry if this is a little bit later in the day, but we couldn't get this recorded yesterday. But we will see you guys next time. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.